In today's episode, I'll be making a Pinterest-inspired stocking hanger. Stay tuned. For this project, I got these dog-eared fence panels, or these fence siding post things, whatever these are. These fencing boards. So, on the picture, the design is shaped like that. The problem is, they don't sell these individually at Lowe's or Home Depot. They sell them in an 8-foot section, so I got these here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that design and draw it on here and use my jigsaw and cut it out. So to get that design, I'm going to have to do some stuff. Let's see. First off, I need to decide. Let me see. Let me show you the picture. I need to decide how long this is. I didn't measure that part. I just took a picture of it just to get the general shape. So I need to determine how long I want to make this. And once I get the first board cut out, I'll use that as my template for the other boards. This is just my own measurement. I'm going to use, I feel like 6 inches might be too short. So I'm going to go with 7 inches, I think. Let me look at the picture again. And I'm going to use this can. I'm going to just use this empty can to do the little side cuts. So, yes. Okay, I'll make that 6 inches. 6 inches from the top. This will make sense in a minute. And then, from there, I'm going to put my can on about, what I'll do is I'll line this, this line up, the seam in the can. That is, let me show you up close. So there's a seam in this can, right there. I'm going to use that on the edge of the board. That way, my little cutouts will be exactly the same on both sides. Cut that there and do the same and mark here. So I just line that seam up with the edge, this edge of the board, and then draw myself the little thing here. And now what I need to do, so you see I have this here that I'm going to cut out on both sides there. So now I need to draw a line for this little curve here. I need to determine so when I look at the picture, I can guess about how many inches I want that to be and then draw my lines from there. Let me find the center. So this is 5 5/8 wide. So what I did was I found the center of the board, and the center. First off, let me tell you how big this board is. 5/8 to 5.5, 6 feet long, and they are, no, that wasn't it. $1.50 each. Hey, I got a discount. What? Sweet. Hey, yeah. So I got some kind of a discount. I don't know how I got a discount, but they were $1.58 each, and I got an 8-cent off each one. Hey, nice. But that's the size. That is the size of the board, and that's the item number of it. And I got these at Lowe's. So I found the center here, and I'm just going to, let's see, do a curve downwards like this. Just going to draw a curve down here. Alright, I'm not a drawer. I'm not good at drawing, but I'm going to freehand this down like that. Let's see what I get. Not too bad. Let's see if I can duplicate that on the other side. Start about here. There we go. And that is going to give us our that basic design. Alright y'all, I'm very happy with the way this turned out. This is perfect. This came out exactly how I wanted it to. So I'm going to be using this board as my template to cut the other three boards. I'm going to have a total of 4 of these. Alright, these came out great. I love the way they came out. They came out exactly how I wanted them to. Just going to lay them out so I can sand them down now. And I'm only going to sand one side of these. There's no sense in sanding down both sides. Since only one side is going to be seen, I'm going to go through all 4 of these and find the best looking front. And then I'm going to sand it down. Alright, I've got my sides chosen. On this one here, the first one, I'm going to erase these pencil marks because I don't want this showing up. Because I'm not sure how they're going to decorate these or sand them or varnish them. So I want to get that pencil mark off as best as I can. I don't want that showing up through their paint or their design and stuff. So I'm going to spend some extra time on getting that pencil mark out of there. So I've been texting my friend this whole time about how wide she wants it and how tall. And I'm thinking 4 feet tall is going to be a really nice height. It's not too short and it's not too tall. So I'm going to cut these at 4 feet. 4 feet from 4 feet from the top there, okay? Okay, so I've been talking to my friend and she wants it 2.5 feet wide. So I'm going to take a board, uncut, and cut it 30 inches. I'm going to do 2 of them for braces along the top and the bottom of the fence post. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, now I'm going to take my sander, my palm sander, and sand everything down the facing side only. There's no reason to sand down the back side because nobody's going to see that part. It's going to be leaning up against a wall or something. So I'm going to sand everything down, get it nice and smooth. I'm going to use 60 grit sandpaper on my palm sander and then put this thing together. Alright, so it's the next day. I ran out of daylight, so I'll tell you what I did was I did a really good sanding down the boards, totally good sanding on the facing side. Now today we're just gonna go ahead and put it together. Yeah, put it together. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lay my boards out here with the facing side down. I want to screw these in from the back because I don't want any screw heads on the front of this on the facing board, so I'm going to screw this from the back. So the good side is going to go face down on here. I don't exactly have my spacing figured out just yet, or how far and how close I want them to be. I'll figure that out as I put these down and see what we get here. one thing I do want to make sure is that these things are even. Okay, so these are all my rough sides facing up. Now, I need to look at this and just see. I need to look at this and see. I want to eyeball it facing. I'm going to eyeball the spacing here. I'm just going to eyeball those. I know they're off right now, but I need to make sure that from top to bottom they're the same height. You know what I mean? I don't want the boards to be off center like that. So I need to figure that out. Let me figure this out and then I'll get back to you. I have it figured out. So what I did was I took my tape measure and went from the very top, because you remember this is the original edge on the board here at the very top. So I went from here down to where the board meets this cross member here, and that cross section right there is 12 3/4 of an inch. And I use my framing square to make sure that everything is all squared up and the edges are super even and flush before I screw it down. Yes, that's nice and square here. And now all I have to do is screw this down. And to screw these down, I'm going to be using these Deck Plus 1 1/4 inch screws. I just want to make sure that it goes through the wood and not poke out on the other side. And most importantly, before I screw these in, I'm going to be using this little tiny drill bit to make some pilot holes, because I do not want this to split. If this splits, then guess what? I got to start all over again. Definitely don't want that. I want to try to avoid this the middle section. That way they'll have room to hang their hooks up for their stocking. So I'm going to put one screw here and one screw here. So I got this one end done. The next thing I'm going to do is the other end, and then I'm going to fill in the gaps with the other two boards. So let me get this one over here situated and keep on going. Now I just need to figure out the spacing for these last two boards here. Grab those. That almost looks good right there. All right, go down 12 3/4. Let's see here. Again, it's very important when you're doing stuff like this and you spend a lot of time and effort, is to make sure you take your time with it, because you definitely, I'm just so careful about not splitting this wood. And when I screw this in, I'm going to screw it in slowly. I don't want to go full speed. So I'm feeling for the screw head, and I could feel the screw head poking through a little bit on some of these. So like this one here, I'm going to have to back the screw out some. There we go. Yep. Just back the screw out just a little bit. I was trying to be careful not to do that, but it's okay. I'll give a check these here. I can feel this one just a touch. This one out a little bit. There we go. Perfect. And that one's sticking out a touch too. That one up. There we go. Perfect. Check these again. That'll feel good. Alright. And even though the screw isn't tied down, screwed down tightly, this isn't going to move. It's not going to twist or bend on you because we got 2 screws here, so that'll hold it in place. That's not going to go anywhere. So these are pretty solid. Alright, let's get this last one in. Let me show you what I had to do to get this last board squared up. So let me bring y'all over here. So this framing square comes in handy so much. So we already know that these 3 are screwed down. So what I did was I took the straight edge and went up against it. And these are flush with each other. These are flush with each other. And that's flush with this one. So they all are flush now. It was even on the top, but it wasn't on the bottom. I have to be careful because this part is going to be on the floor. So we really need this to be pretty even. Alright, so now I'm going to go and screw this top section down. I'll go ahead and screw that down. And then I'll figure out the spacing for this bottom board here. Couldn't find my pilot hole. Now I gotta figure out this bottom spacing. Let's see here. I'm just trying to make it look good. Let me see what I come up with. I like this spacing. I came about 6 inches from the bottom to the bottom of that board. You could just see it peeking through these boards here. So that's the bottom of the bottom board. And it's right at about 6 inches. And I think this spacing looks great. So now I need to make sure this board is flush and even with the edges here and here. And then I can screw this down. Nice and even. I'm going to check my measurement. Alright, we're good to go. So now I could just drill all my pilot holes. Actually, see, the top was going this way. The bottom, I'm going to come this way. So now I can just drill all my pilot holes and then put all my screws down at one time. Don't be tempted to rush this. Still want to take your time because you don't want this wood to split. Now I need to double check and make sure my screws didn't go through the front. Oh yeah, I did much better this time. All right. And that's where the mistake happened. All right, y'all, I goofed. So, what was supposed to happen is this is supposed to be underneath. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to take this off and put it underneath. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Take it off, put that underneath, and then screw it from the back side again. All right, let me go fix this. So when we flip this thing over, all of your sanded sides are actually facing down right now. Oh, yes. Oh, this looks amazing. It looks amazing. All right. This looks so good. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. Now, there's a couple spots that I'm going to sand down again because where my screws have poked through just a little bit, I'm going to take my sander and sand that down. And this project is done. I'm very satisfied with how this came out. I could not have imagined it coming out any better. So I'm very happy with the outcome of this. Now, you guys can let your imagination run wild. You can paint it. You can leave it. You can use it as a yard decoration. Just put like some snowflakes on it. You can put color on it. You can do whatever you want. Just let your imagination go wild on this one. So, I appreciate you guys watching and supporting me, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.